I want to prosper. I want to prosper. I want to prosper. I want to prosper. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of e-commerce stories. Great seeing the Prosper Nation today, and we've got an excellent and awesome session prepared for you. Miss Yvette from Homebound Furniture, Miss Baguio. Hey, what's happening?
Hi, Dennis. How are you?
Great, great. Good to see you. You have this amazing smile and energy to you, and I know that you're bringing that to the furniture industry in Baguio. So glad we could have you here on the e-commerce stories. So tell us, maybe we can just jump in. Maybe you can give us a little bit about your background and how you got into the homebound furniture business.
Okay, so first of all, hi, my name is Yvette. I'm an entrepreneur based in Baguio City, though I am originally from Isabela. My education is centered around legal because I wanted to become a lawyer, Dennis. But fate
Okay.
presented me with a lot of opportunities in sales and marketing, so here I am right now.
Wow, we have a little similar background there. I don't know if it's
Oh,
every Filipina mom, right, wanting their kids or one of their kids to be a lawyer, but that's what they thought I was going to be because I was
uh-huh.
so argumentative. I don't know, but
But we're now putting it to good use, right? We're both, doing this, talking to a lot of people most of the time. I, I
exactly.
practice, I practice my skills talking to client every day here at the store. And I'm here right now, actually.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, you've got this great store up there in Baguio, but maybe let's just go back in a little bit of time because
Mhm.
the entrepreneurial journey is not always a straight path and not always so clear. So what were you doing, before Homebound Furniture?
Before Homebound Furniture, I had 16 years working for a fast-moving consumer industry in Manila.
Okay.
So most of the time, the products that I am handling are food. And then at one point in time, I worked for a furniture company in Manila. It's actually the number one furniture company called Sanyang Furniture. And surprisingly, in my 7 years of stay there, Dennis, I enjoyed every bit of it. I mean, the part where we have to purchase the products to sell, the part where we have to make good merchandising display for our clients to enjoy, even the part where we have to join exhibits or even bid for a project because we have to stage some interior designs for rooms sometimes. So working for a furniture company versus as a FMCG, I mean, I get the same amount of money anyway. So I developed a love for working in an industry where I don't have a lot of problems. I just focus on what is beautiful, what is fine. Yeah, so
That's
that's
really cool.
basically what happened.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've got this long history of in the FMCG, but somehow you got into the furniture industry,
That's
probably
correct.
because of that great training that a lot of the FMCG companies are known for, right? But like I said initially, um, I bet that somehow the retail industry just pulled you in because you do have that kind of energy that's really important in the retail industry, right? So,
Yes.
why furniture? What drove you to the furniture industry and business? I mean, I know you had a lot of experience working with some of the big furniture companies, but when you decided to go out and do it on your own, set up your own business, why did you decide the furniture industry? What's the market? What's the opportunity that led you there?
Okay. So I actually had a daughter quite late in life. I mean, I'm 42 now. She's only 4 years old. My last employment is with a real estate developer. So I sold condominiums here in Baguio City where they
Okay.
assigned me initially, even if at that time I was based in Manila. So this business is sprouted from my experience selling real estate and doing renovation projects for some of my clients. Because during the time that I was selling a condominium, there are a lot of clients who approached me if I wanted to fix their houses for them since I'm based in Baguio. Originally, the plan is for me to get a third party to do it for them. But then I had an experience in construction while working for this company, furniture company where I was at back in Manila. I was supervising the construction of all our giant stores. So
Okay.
at one point in time, I realized that why not do it for my clients here in Baguio? So I sold real estate projects and did some renovations. And then what happened along the way then is I was looking for furniture to, to use for their houses or for their units to become beautiful. And I was going around Baguio City and I cannot find the pieces that I want. So ultimately, I have to go to Manila to shop in the company where I came from every time. So that's when
Okay.
I realized that maybe Baguio needs another store that would offer them a more modern line of furniture, one that comes in different sizes so that it can meet their requirements. Because some people would buy a small condominium, like a studio unit, and then a one-bedroom unit or a two-bedroom unit. Depending upon the floor plan, their need for furniture varies as well. So that's how I thought of setting up Homebound in Baguio City.
Wow. Well, that's really cool that you were able to basically, you got exposed to market demand and you had a lot of people asking for you to help them with furnishing their condos, which is typically a smaller space, right? Now, here's the thing though. So, Yvette, isn't there a lot of competition for furniture in Baguio?
Oh, there are a lot. Because here in Baguio, this is one of the places where construction is really at its peak. It's a small
Okay.
city, but there are so many condominiums built here. So what happened before my coming here 3 years ago, there are already a lot of stores in place, big ones as well. I mean, other than those retail stores that you can find in the city, there are even a lot of custom furniture maker outside Baguio
Yeah.
City where people are already buying. So the challenge there is how do I penetrate the market as a new player? So if there's one thing that I'm passionate about, or if there's one thing that I'm good at, that is I'm very patient with people, Dennis.
Oh,
I
really?
can I can spend a lot of time talking to people, and I think that it worked to my advantage because the people here are quite traditional. When they go to a store, they would want that you serve them with coffee, that you would sit down with them and take the time to listen to what their needs are, even take the time to view the plans that they have of the house so that you can give them your idea about what furniture they might need. So I thought of putting up a store that is very customer friendly. That's one. Because when I went around the stores here in Baguio City, most of the times the furniture that they are selling are wrapped with plastic and you cannot open it. I mean, you don't know how it looks like, although they would tell you that it's blue, but what kind of blue, what kind of material is it made of? So the privilege of touching or having a feel of or an actual experience of using the furniture, they don't give that to the buyers. The- You
Yeah,
you, you would always you would always see their sign there that thank you for not sitting. So a lot of
yeah,
times you see thank you for not sitting. And for the custom made furniture makers, of course you don't see the goods and yet you
right.
are paying for it already. So I just remember one day the time thing that inspired me about the concept that I did for the company where I came from, which I applied here in IKEA. I don't remember what country this happened. They allow people to even sleep in their beds. I'm not sure if you know that, but you know what happened when they did that, when they allowed their customers to have an actual feel or experience of using their furniture, their sales really shoot up. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here. I'm very patient in talking to my customers and I allow them to sit. or
That's
even lie down if they want to in all the furnitures that they can find inside the store. And it
well,
worked to my
that
advantage.
oh, so you use that to your advantage, and then
Yes, because well, they get to feel that the materials is a good one. Like the foam is sturdy, the cover, even if it's just fabric, is not too soft. Or sometimes they would realize that their height fits the bed, because there are a lot of people, Filipinos, who are already tall right now. So yeah, we let them do what they want basically. And I'm not worried because, to be honest, Dennis, every time we assemble a furniture in Homebound, in a week's time, automatic people would buy it from us. So I would not say that there's one display inside the store that is used and abused by clients, because it always goes out. It's
yeah,
always being bought.
that's really great to hear. I mean, that you have, it sounds like this very keen observation of market and customer experience or customer needs. Because a lot of people on the surface always knew that Baguio, that's a place to go to get furniture, right?
Yes.
And despite the high competition, you saw a behavior and a market opportunity and said, wait a minute, I could fill that and create a whole business. How long have you guys been around now?
8 months?
Oh, only 8 months? It's
Yes,
not, I thought
only
you
eight
guys-
months.
oh, wow, okay. Well, yeah, when the team had gone out and visited you, they were very impressed about your operation there. And yeah, it seemed like customers could spend all day there and hang out, right?
Yes, we are
You're
very customer
probably
friendly.
you're probably everybody's friend in the neighborhood.
I'd like to think so, yes. Uh, all of us inside Homebound, we're always smiling. We are very patient in talking to our customers. That's one thing that I told them we should do. And of course, we also have an ABCDE lounge here, which you cannot find often in other stores.
What is
ABCDE
that?
lounge, okay. ABCDE lounge are for architects, builders, contractors, designers, and engineers, meaning they can come here with their client, make use of whatever, if they need a printer, I'm sorry, if they need a printer, they can print the plans that they have for the clients here. They can basically do their meeting here and then use our equipments like as if it's their own office. And then apart from that, Dennis, we give them free refreshments. We offer brewed coffee, wine,
I'm
water,
gonna stop by.
juice.
You
Yeah.
said wine, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and snacks, it's all, of course, to the account of Homebound. We want them to really come here and try those. Even if they don't buy, at the end of the day, they're still our friends, and we may not do business with them the first time or the second time they come, but they always come back, and the next time they do, they give us
Well,
sales.
you said it yourself, right? You're very patient. You love
Yes,
to
yeah.
have fun or communicate, talk with your customers. And
Mhm.
that patience and talking to customers creates trust. So
Yes.
eventually, I see what you're doing. Eventually, you're planting seeds so that eventually they will end up buying something from you.
That's exactly our strategy, Denise. Yes. And other than that, I also launched a program for the brokers and agents that I work with in the past. So if
Ooh.
they can refer a client, we give them a commission.
So
And
now you're talking about extending your business, not just from your traditional retail location, but you're basically creating channels or spokes into other communities, the real estate broker community, the architects, the builders. I can't remember what all the other, letters in their alphabet were, but that's great. We're gonna have to add a D. Oh, you have a D or a T for technology guys like us to come out there, maybe
yes,
do a little co-working there because people always need, office furniture for their home office, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And we are actually expanding. I mean, you are correct, very much correct in the strategy that we are using. We are trying to build a very strong relationship with our clients that is based on trust. And correct, we have a brick and mortar store here at Center Point Plaza where people can walk in and buy. But apart from that, you're correct again that we are reaching out to interior designers, to architects, renovators, contractors, even real estate agents and brokers. They can make referral and in the process, they can earn from us. And finally, yeah, I'd like to add a letter T to my ABCDE. T for technology because I feel that um this time it's really right for us to reach out to our online clients as well. We have a Facebook page, Dennis, where people would ask us about the product that we are selling. But our approach is really quite traditional because if they would ask for a sofa, we would take a picture of all the sofa that is inside the store,
Okay.
even dining tables and the other items. But this time, well, I realized along the way that doing that, it takes a lot of time on our part because after we send them a photo, they have a lot of questions as well that is related to the sale of the product that ultimately leads to a close. So that again, we are very patient about it. But then I realized people are already used to buying things online, myself included. Even if it's
Uh-oh.
quite pricey, even if I don't see it anymore, sometimes I risk buying it. So the buying how would you call that? The orientation of the
Yeah.
buyers right now has changed tremendously. And I am confident that we can sell furniture online as well. I'll share you one thing, Dennis. Before I left Sanyang, online selling was just starting in the Philippines.
Oh,
Lazada at that time was still new in the Philippines, and I was the one whom they approached if we can sell the product online. At that time, my colleagues, even my bosses, are quite apprehensive to do it because they said, how can you sell high value product and even something that they'll have to assemble by themselves online? But the last time I heard Dennis, they're making a lot of money selling furniture online, and that inspired me to do it here at Homebound as well. I mean, 5 million to 7 million is that bad,
yeah.
right? And that's
Yeah.
just their Luzon sales. So I
Well,
just having an idea.
yeah, even for us, home furnishings is one of our top 5 categories
Mhm.
of online selling. So if that, gives you some good validation, but yeah, that's really interesting to hear. I mean, let's step back. When you started this business or you were thinking about going into this business, you went retail first. Did you ever think, well, I guess you had some exposure, but was digital always in your plan? Or what made you do retail first, then digital? Just, maybe you could help us understand what was going through your mind that might help others.
Yeah, I'm very open to digital selling, but I realized that for furniture, it's always better to have a physical store because I know that, well, myself included, people who wants to buy a furniture would want to see how it looks like. They want to feel the fabric, they want to see the leather, if it's genuine or what it's really made of. So I started with a retail store because I thought that apart from giving the customer a first hand of experience of how this furniture really looks like, I think it would build trust to
Yeah.
know that there's really a store existing. I mean, should they have a customer complain in the future? Should they need to get a warranty or avail of the warranty in the future? Should they wish to change it in the future? Then at least they know that we are here.
So it's just another form of trust, but going back to that conversation about building trust and having your
Mhm.
retail store work with digital, how do you see them working together?
So right now, the performance of the store is, I would say, okay. Now, digital selling comes in. in a sense that it can amplify the current performance of our sales. I know that the sales that we are making here at the store is different from the sales that I could generate from selling digitally.
Yeah. Well, I would
Yeah.
imagine if you are as energetic and focused and passionate as you say you are about building trust, the relationship, getting to know your customers, I would bet money that if they bought from you in your store, you have earned the trust. And if you stay in touch with them online, they will probably make subsequent purchases online without any question because you've established that trust. So now it's
That's
about introducing new products, new lines, seasonal options and offers. Is that where you're going, or am I just dreaming this up?
No, actually, you got it right, Dennis. The reason why I wanted to go online is we have a lot of customers that trust us already. So they come here to the store, they know what we have, they took photos of the items that they wanted to buy, but sometimes they cannot afford to buy it all at the same time. So what happens is after 3 days, after a week, after 2 weeks, they would just call us to tell us, Yvette, I want to buy this furniture that I saw in your store, and they would send us the photo, and then they would send us the payment online, and then we would just deliver it to their houses. So I wanted to have a more sophisticated online store
Yeah.
than how we are doing it right now. So I'm really excited and very open to having um, partnership with you, because I wanted, my client to be very uh, independent and self-sufficient when it comes to ordering their furniture online. I mean, from the time they see how it looks like, how much it is priced, up to checkout, where they have to decide for themselves how it will be delivered. And of course, I know that that would minimize the work on our part. We only have a few people working here at Homebound, and when we talk to the clients who are inside the store, we might not be able to entertain the people who are wanted to buy online. So it's multiplying the results that I can get out of selling furniture, really.
Wow,
It's not
that's amazing.
cannibalizing.
Yeah, because a lot of people would think, oh, well, furniture is so big, and people, how do you sell something like that online? But you're proof that, you know, you're able to combine both. And as you said, I guess amplify and reach out to customers, because hopefully you're not going to sell to them just one time, right?
Yes, in our experience, most of our customers are buying a lot of times because most of the people who are here in Baguio are investors. So they
Oh,
buy several condominiums and then eventually put it on Airbnb or booking.com. So when we furnish a house for a client, it's not just one or two. So it's several houses.
I'm gonna have to get your help with my family's place up there. We need to spruce that place up.
I am already excited. I am already excited, Dennis.
There you go. There you go. So those sound like a lot of positive opportunities. And I can tell because you are obviously a very hands-on, in the details kind of business owner and operator. Number one, those are the kinds of people that do well when it comes to digital, right? You know your customer, you're if you don't mind me saying, trying to achieve a very specific, in your definition of a perfect customer experience, and make that multi-channel. Those make good customers and partners for digital platforms like us. But maybe you can share, like, was it scary? What were the challenges? What were the hurdles? Did you try things? What didn't work? What are some of the lessons learned? Entrepreneurs like you, especially, and like myself, are always very positive, but love to hear maybe some of the bumps in the road, if you don't mind.
Yes, there are, of course, a lot of bumps in the road. The first thing that I have to hurdle is, yeah, you know it so well. There are a lot of stores here in Baguio. So how do we penetrate the market initially? I was very patient. Well, we had a very low-key store opening. Up until now, I haven't had a grand opening yet.
Okay.
We just created the page even during the time of construction and then made initial announcements. And then when we opened the store, we just boost the page and we waited for people to come. Um, Up until now, we are still very much dependent on Facebook, Dennis. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe what happened here is by word of mouth, because the first thing that I really had to watch out for are the merchandise or the furniture that I have to display. I had to make sure that when somebody comes here, they will be talking about homebound long after they are gone. So
Yeah.
I think I made quite a nice store here in Baguio. I mean, with all the lightings, with how it looks like, with how things are displayed. The number one challenge is how do people know about the store, of course. And
Okay.
then basically anything that is inside. I'm not a control freak, Dennis, but this is what how I perceive it. This is how
That's
I
okay.
perceive it. Everything that is inside the store I can control. You know, the job that, but of course I got the right people to help me with the business. I
Yeah.
know Carl, I know Shawnee from the company where we came from before. They used to be my employees as well. They were under me. And then the three boys initially that I got as my seller also came from the company where I came from, which is Sanyang. So I'm very
Okay.
confident that I was backed up by a good team. So inside the store, I'm confident that they have enough training. I hope that things would never go wrong inside the store. When it comes to the product that we are selling, I'm very much hands-on. Everything that is inside here, I have to handpick up until the color, the design, the color. Um, what challenge? What challenge did we
So
encounter?
let's drill into how to get your name and your word and your brand out there.
Mhm,
Let's drill into that a little bit. So,
mhm.
I'm glad to hear that you've got some great people. So that's, I
Yes.
imagine, um, you would probably you sound like a great person to work for. I bet they learn a ton from you, and that's why they have, left their former careers to join you. So that part sounds like a check, right?
Mhm.
But you've only, you started your business less than a year ago.
Yes.
Yes, there's a lot of Filipinos on Facebook. You've tried Facebook ads. What else have you guys done? Maybe, I can give you a little bit of unsolicited advice if that's
Okay,
a,
go.
yeah. So Facebook ads, like how often have you been doing Facebook ads?
Like we would boost for a month
Okay.
long, and then every quarter we would do that.
Okay. So every quarter for a month long. And what kind of results would you get?
What we noticed is it worked because we would limit the areas where we would want it boosted. So sometimes we get surprise visitors from areas that we know we targeted in our ads. So at first we were very privy about, oh, how did you know about Homebound? It's good to see you here. Where did you heard of Homebound? And they tell us that it's either through Instagram or our Facebook ads.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll talk a little bit about some of the different channels. Um, is Facebook advertising, how do you feel about it from as a business owner? Is it expensive? Is it okay lang? Is it tama? Or is it ay mahal or
Um, I think it's okay lang because we have an option on how much money we should be spending on a week, per month. Like right now, our budget is only 5,000 per month if I want to boost it for
okay,
month long. But it's because the area is very small. We are
yeah.
focused in list area. Yes.
So let's say if you were to spend 5,000 per month,
Mm-hmm.
right? you know, because anything is in business, there's a little bit of risk. That's why you're, you know, entrepreneur. You probably have, you like and enjoy a little bit of the rush and the challenge of the risk of investing and seeing what's going to happen. So when you invest 5,000 pesos, what are you hoping that will happen? Are you hoping to get 10,000, 100,000 in sales, or do you not measure really the sales and you just want to see if you can talk to people? What is it that you hope to get with an investment of 5,000 in Facebook?
To be honest, there are settings in Facebook that gives you a measurable answer as to how many people it can reach. And then, of course, you can adjust the audience, which is all the time targeted on our part. It's you know what it says there. I just put my faith into it. That
Okay.
sana it really reaches 22,000 as stated by the ad that I'm currently doing. That
Yeah.
sana it's really targeting the architects, the contractors, the builders, the interior designers that I wanted Facebook to give the ads to. It's
Yeah.
always sana. Yes, it's always sana.
But it sounds like you've heard people say, I saw you on Facebook and Instagram, so I stopped by, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you tried other channels like YouTube and TikTok?
Oh no, we haven't. YouTube and
Okay.
TikTok that we did not explore. We are just on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Although we have a TikTok account, but it's not really active.
Yeah. And then have you looked into, or has anybody ever mentioned to you search engine optimization, SEO?
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
Oh, do you know how to do all that kind of stuff? Are you the one
Um,
handling digital marketing, or do you have some assistant or someone that does it for you?
I was not the one doing it. In the companies where I worked for before, I did some websites for them. So those things has been explained to me.
Okay,
Yeah. But
okay,
right now, we don't have a website. Um, of course, there's hashtag in Facebook, and that's the only thing that we're doing right now.
yeah. So just a couple suggestions, right? Um, one thing is you already know this, but I want to help you translate it to digital, right?
Mhm.
We talked earlier about your A, B, C, D, E,
Yes.
right? And then
See,
basically you're trying to form and cast a wide net in order to get your business in front of different channels,
yes.
right? So the good news is, since you're familiar with that strategy, you can use the same strategy, but from a digital standpoint, to enhance and multiply your business. For example, Facebook and Instagram, those are all great platforms. So keep doing that. But it's important that you understand what they're good at and how the other channels complement all of it together, so that you can have not just a brick and mortar A, B, C, D, E, T strategy. You can have the same multi-channel strategy, but online. So how Facebook and Instagram works is, let's just take a look at it like this. Why do people go on Facebook and Instagram?
Networking?
Yeah, they
Yes.
go there to be social, hence social media. They go there to sometimes network or connect or see what their family is like, right? That's the first reason why they're going out there. Now, the good news is, whether we like it or not, Facebook is tracking all your affinities, the things that you like and share and follow. So while you're being social, just like at a party, right? If I met you at a party and say, hey, Yvette, what have you been up to? Oh, well, I'm working on this house design project, right? That's what would happen in a normal social activity. So they're tracking that same kind of activity um, based on you liking, right? When someone posts a house, right? Because you might have joined some Facebook real estate groups in Baguio, right? Or on Instagram, because you've seen or searched for kitchen design for small spaces. They're tracking all those things so that retailers like you, when you want to advertise, you can target people like that, right? The thing about it is, though, Facebook is what you call a discovery marketing platform. Because people are not going there first to shop, they might go there later, but they're going there first to socialize,
Correct.
right? So when you look at a marketing funnel, the people on Facebook and Instagram are what we call in the awareness stage, right? That's why I was trying to identify, do you feel like your name is getting out there? Because that's the goal. And hopefully over time, with numerous impressions, they will say, oh my God, what's that modern furniture store in Baguio City, right? The one over there, right? Then at Centerpoint Plaza, then over time, they'll go, oh, now I want to go check them out. So it's a little bit of nothing's overnight, right? But that's how the social media channels work. It's at the top of the funnel, and people, you're hoping that they will bump into your name because of the other things that they've liked, shared, searched, and commented. But typically, that's where it's important for business owners like you to think about the other channels in digital that you can capitalize on based on the different parts of the marketing funnel of business or of consumer behavior, right? Sorry to get into the weeds on this, but
No, I like it. I'm very interested. Yeah.
you got me all excited. So have you ever wondered, like, the difference in a customer from Facebook or Instagram versus getting a customer on Google?
No, I'm not really, well versed with those things.
Well, like you're always hands-on on your retail, merchandising, design, the customer experience. We get really hands-on like you, but in the digital. Why does Facebook work like this? Why does Instagram? Why does Google? Why does YouTube? How does it all work together? So the cool thing about Google and SEO, or even advertising on Google, is that the kind of people that you find or that will find you on Google are the kind of people who are lower in the marketing funnel. They are closer to the decision-making process. The reason is in order for some search results to pop up, someone has to physically type what they're looking for.
Correct.
That act and that behavior of physically typing is related to their intent to buy, right? So if I'm looking for modern furniture in Baguio City for small spaces, it's probably because I'm renovating or bought a condo and I'm about to move in. So it's time for me to search and find where I can buy, right?
Yes.
So that's why it's important to have Facebook, Instagram, and Google, because you want to catch, as a business owner, customers at different stages of their buying cycle, right? The awareness stage as well as the intent when they're closer, right, to buying. Now, last thing, if you don't mind, I'm giving you all this stuff because I know you love the details. So YouTube, I could really see video and YouTube helping, businesses and brands like you, because especially furniture, the first thing that we talked about was people naturally, they want to see it, they want to touch it. I think you mentioned the story about how IKEA went and opened it up, where most retailers don't let you sit on the bed, but at your place, you might want to let them snuggle in,
Yes.
right? Well, that's where video comes in. It's a live demo, right? Of maybe how to assemble it, how it's constructed, how this sofa compares to that sofa, because people comparison shop, right? And by someone describing or demonstrating the product, you can create, because you know how hard it is to sell, and I'm sure you would want to recreate 100 Yvettes so they could all sell as great as you,
Mm.
right?
No, they are all okay. They're doing a good job.
Well,
I,
let's
I
say
just I
you're
just hope that
let's just say you're a best salesperson. What if you could
of
replicate them, right?
course I would want that.
Well, that's where exactly, that's where YouTube, because video, it's a lot more consistent and repeatable. But in terms of the marketing and buying funnel, people use YouTube to educate themselves.
That's correct.
You know, that's YouTube is the research place, right?
Correct.
So anyway, sorry to get in there, the
No,
details.
no, I like it. You know, I like that we had this conversation. You made me realize that I am lacking in that, in that area, the YouTube. And you made me realize even better how much I need to have my own website and how much I need to partner with you because I'm not on Google. Dennis, they cannot find me because I don't have a website.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
Well,
I
the
really
nice
wanted
thing
this.
also, because when people bump into you at a social occasion on social media, they start searching to do background check on
Yes.
you. Sino ba yung Homebound Furniture? You know, wow, ganda ng showroom, maganda yung website. And then they look at you versus, I went to this other place, nakapackage na lahat, hindi pwede magganto, and dusty, ayoko dyan, right?
Yes.
Anyway, not sure if I told you before, but yeah, I actually have a little bit of experience in the furniture business because that was my mom's business.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I grew up you know, watching her in action. So a lot of the things that, you know, you mentioned, it really hits home to me. And that's why I really immediately see the same kind of energy and things that it required to be successful, just listening to you talk, right? Because, you know, I imagine, you know, back in the day when I was running around inside my mom's store because I was cheap hired help, right? Walang anak.
No, my daughter is growing, Dennis. She's already starting to lift a few pieces.
Really? I bet
Yes.
you she's gonna grow up, right? Following mommy at the store and being a designer or something. So do you actually go out and do like on-site to, you know, help someone uh, you know, make furniture and design decisions, or do you refer them to an interior designer, or how does that work? Because sometimes
I
if somebody wants to like, let's say you know, I want to furnish and remodel and then refurnish my entire, you know, townhouse there in Baguio, like what
yeah,
would you do?
I'm not really, I'm not an interior designer by profession, but my experiences working for the furniture companies before that, two companies which I mentioned, if you notice, I'm not sure if you've been to one of their stores, but in Manila, they are very excellent when it comes to display standards. And all those standards we did during my time. So I worked with a lot of interior designers who are very famous in the industry. And
Oh,
I get to observe how they do it. I listen to a lot of the um, tips and concepts that they shared. Why do we have to do this? How much lighting do we need for this? What kind of colors can we put together? If you already have this, what can you put beside it? So
yeah.
all those things, I did it a long time because every time we open a store, Dennis, it's like 3,500 square meter, 1,500 square meter. So imagine the amount of work put in displaying all the furniture inside the store that big and making sure that everything looks complementary and everything looks like a lifestyle display. So I did that a long time. So here in Baguio right now, if we have a customer who doesn't have an interior designer, I give them my professional opinion, but inform them firsthand that I'm not an interior designer, but I am experienced. So far, I think they're happy with the result. So I do on-site visits, big house or small condominium units. I can design everything for them. Living room, dining room, bedroom, up to kitchen if they want me to, even outdoors, of course. But I always tell them that I'm not an interior designer, I'm just experienced in arranging furniture.
Well, I can tell, and those are the qualities and traits of what it takes to be successful, right? And even though, you've made that disclaimer that you're not a, professional interior designer, but even at your stage and, your level of experience, you're still learning, borrowing, absorbing, so that you can, take that value and at least give some,
Yes,
help and advice to customers, right?
yes. I read a lot up until
Mm.
now so that I can harness my skills doing interior decoration for my clients.
That's cool. One thing I have to say, because honestly, I don't know if it's, because of my mom's business, but I do observe, and it's kind of a fun hobby just to look at home designs and interiors. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Actually, there are some people who are addicted to doing that, Dennis. We have clients who doesn't stop buying. And then the last time we went to their house, it looks like a furniture store already. So
Yeah, it's like a
we are the one
showroom.
who has to tell her, Mom, you should stop buying furniture pieces. Maybe we should focus on the wall because what's happening now is the whole floor area is flooded with furniture already, and we want her to literally stop, but she doesn't want to stop.
Oh
So
my God.
it's a habit, it's an addiction
Yeah,
to
she's
some.
addicted. She might
Yeah,
have to.
especially those who are already senior citizens, with a lot of money and they don't know where to put it. Maybe they buy and buy all the
Yeah.
time. So we have
Well,
customers like that.
I want to ask you for a little design tip, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, because right now I've got this idea that I want to change my home and be more minimalist, kind
Mm-hmm.
of Japanese minimalist, right? What do you think about that?
Well, that depends upon your personality, but
I'm trying to reduce clutter and
reduce clutter. That would be my personal preference that would be my personal preference to have a minimalist design for
okay,
my house. Only it's not Japanese, it's not Zen.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, all the houses where I lived, I don't fill it with furniture myself. I want it like that. We're already working. We're thinking about a lot of things, seeing a lot of items inside your house. It,
yeah.
you cannot rest sometimes. So, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to talk about that when I come up to your store. Maybe you can give me some ideas.
Yeah, sure, sure. So you mentioned that you have a house here. Maybe I can do the decorating for you one of these days.
We're gonna schedule it. We're gonna schedule it. I'm gonna bring you out there. That's why I
Yeah,
was asking.
I hope you don't mind me asking, where is it in Baguio? And how do you have a house here? Is your dad from Baguio?
No, my dad's family, it was kind of a family vacation place. Uh,
Oh,
that was from my grandparents, and we've always vowed to, hold on to it as a family memory. And
okay.
it's near what's that tourist area? There's kind of a circular, is there like a park? Burnham Park.
Burnham Park,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So it's near there. You know that little kind of, it's a somewhat of a rotunda street by Burnham Park, and then there's this cute little cafe along that street. Anyway, does that sound familiar at all?
I think it's Kisad Road. You are somewhere near Kisad Road. Well, I'm not really from here, so I'm not familiar with those streets, you know.
Okay.
But I know that you are in a very good location if you are near Burnham. So I'm already excited, Dennis.
All right. Yeah, yeah. We'll have to come up there and check it out. I need
Yes.
someone that I can trust, right, in the area. So we'll definitely hit you up on that. So It's been a great episode. And Yvette, thank you so much for sharing your story. I love your energy. Maybe in summary, just with your furniture business or the transitions that you've made or where you're going, what advice would you give out there to other people, in retail, trying to go digital or a little bit of both? Any particular business advice that you'd like to share?
Advice. Oh, I think I'm the one who needs one. Okay. Well, I just know that sometimes our worst enemy as a person, Dennis, is ourselves.
Mm,
So what I do is I tend not to overanalyze if I want to do something. And you don't have to be very good at something, before you start it, because sometimes you don't realize that you already lost a lot of time just making the plans and thinking about when to start.
I
Um,
love that.
I think what I'm trying to say is, uh, but I hope that you would only do this if you can calculate the risk, but you can grow as you go along.
Yeah.
You can grow as you go along. I mean, in business, sometimes that's how we do it. And basically, that's what I did for Homebound. Had I analyzed too much before starting this, knowing that there are a lot of competitors in the area, maybe there's no Homebound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, I can just tell, your energy, what you've done. You're
Mhm.
you're you're an action woman, right?
Yes.
What you're saying, don't overanalyze. If you see an
Mhm.
opportunity, just take step one, and
Yes.
from there, do it incrementally, each step. Don't try to do the whole thing, but I like that. And I think that's very
Yes.
helpful for a lot of people because sometimes, yeah, the big idea, it overtakes you and it creates many objections
Yes.
to, right?
That's true. That's true. Dennis, there was only one research that I had to do before I put up Homebound.
What was that?
I have to call the office that regulates all the real estate developer in Baguio. And I asked them, when are they going to turn over the units? And then the one I talked to told me that 2024 up to 2027, thousands of units will be turned over in Baguio. So that's what made me decide to put up this furniture. So I did not overanalyze, and I just know that I'll grow as I'll go along.
You are super smart. I can't wait to visit your place up there and for you to help us out with our, family vacation spot up in Baguio. Well,
I look forward to it.
definitely. Well, thanks again, Yvette. Prosper Nation, let's give a round of applause for Yvette at Homebound Furniture. Best of luck to you. I know you're just gonna crush it. And thanks again, and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you so much, Dennis. I really enjoyed the interview today, and I hope to see you again soon.
Awesome. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hey, Prosper Nation. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Prosperna e-commerce stories, where we learn and share success stories of e-commerce businesses and leaders. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. My name is Dennis Velasco, founder and CEO of Prosperna. See ya.